Tippy time, my damies, and welcome to episode 51 of Reviewedly Interrupted. How long is he going to keep doing this? It's madness, I say. And I am your host, Pootie. I've thrown out some sneak peeks, little bits of the cover of this movie, and probably no one, like maybe a few people have been like, I know what the fuck that is. That's sweet. I haven't thought of that movie in a while. But if you haven't guessed it, the movie I'm going to be doing is Biodome. I don't own a copy of Biodome like by itself. I did add the Blu-ray to my wish list on Amazon. So down the road that will be a thing, but for now I have it in this little triple feature set, Partying 101, which I picked up at a Food Lion, a grocery store. Some of these grocery stores still have movies that they sell. And sometimes you find some really cool shit. Sometimes it's just a lot of bullshit, but I saw this and it has Biodome, Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. That one's a classic. And PCU, which I used to watch on HBO all the time and fucking loved it. So when I saw this set, I mostly bought it for PCU, but when I saw Biodome, I was like, oh, I haven't seen that in forever. I'm gonna love watching that. And my gal has not seen it. So she's gonna see Biodome for the first time and just be like, probably like, wow, this is the greatest movie ever made. Not. And since this is about the physical media part, I'll show you. It just comes in this little set. It's one of these little cornball sets that they got the rights to or something, whatever. Oh no, it's released. It is. I don't see there'll be Echo Bridge and all those little distributors that maybe get the rights to distribute the shit very cheaply. They don't even do a transfer. There's no special features. I'm not sure if there's any special features. There's the disc, as you can see. All the other two movies in there, those are probably one side's full screen, one side's wide screen. But Biodome, not sure of the special features yet. I'll find out when I pop it in. Not even sure if the Blu-ray has any. But I actually find this movie hilarious. I'm a Pauly Shore fan, Of course, son-in-law, Encino Man, everybody's like, yeah, Biodome and In the Army Now. Gotta find that one. That was when he really cut his hair short, and it was pretty wild seeing him like that. But I really super became a fan of Pauly Shore when I watched Pauly Shore is Dead. That movie is absolutely epic, and I was like, I need to take a better look at this comedian. And Pauly Shore is fucking hilarious. He is a wild man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Biodome. Let's zoom in right there. There you see it. Yeah. There he is, Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin. Stephen Baldwin's a goofball too. Fucking all those Baldwins are goofballs. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this, and then yeah. Then we'll yap about it. I'm pretty sure it's been a while since you've seen it, or maybe you've never seen it and you're like, what? It's funny. I like it. So back in a little bit, we'll talk about this. So yeah, it's time to go chill with the wheeze, but the button won't put. Okay, what's one thing I can say about Biodome that hasn't been said already? It is an amazing movie. That is one thing that has probably never been said about Biodome. Oh my God. This movie, I tell you what, it's so bad, it's bad. It's you're watching it and you're like, wow. Mid-90s MTV culture, they're like, oh man, this, teens, this is not for anybody of any kind of maturity level. This is straight up okay, this is straight up for young people. We know that Stephen Baldwin and fucking the Wees are in their 30s now, but we need teenagers and early 20s to really get this movie and want this movie. It has toilet humor, all kinds of stupid shit, just Pauly Shore being Pauly Shore. William Atherton playing another strong character. He's a great character actor. He's playing another strong character, but in just a total goofball movie. I mean, it's this thing got greenlit, and even 5 years down the road, by the time the new millennium hit, 2000, they were like, we got to bury this. We have to totally bury this. This was a horrible movie, and we made it. We went through the whole process, made the whole goddamn movie. But let's talk about the movie now. So two dipshits, a la Dude, Where's My Car? You know, mistake a biodome experiment facility for a mall, because malls look like that, especially when they're out in the middle of nowhere in the desert. They mistake it for a mall, and I got to go in there, and one of them's got to take a piss. So they create a distraction, go in there, and of course get trapped within the biodome, which has multiple little ecosystems and stuff in it. And of course they're dipshits. They don't give two shits about the environment. Not at all. You know, that young, like, fucking whatever, man, I do what I want, like, attitude, you know. It was almost like this was a PSA after school special with, like, a Captain Planet-esque vibe aimed at young people to, like, hey, we need to take care of Mother Earth. It was almost like a veiled, like, message to the masses PSA, you know. So they get trapped in there, and it's like they're stuck. They gotta be stuck in there for a whole year. Of course, they're fucking shit up. They're stupid. They're, like I said, they don't care. You know, they got these scientists that are in there that are like serious about their work and shit, and these guys keep just fucking it up left and right. Every little thing, just with their stupid antics and everything else. And here's the funny thing is, like, you expect some good, like, maybe one-liners, and they happen, but they don't happen often enough with Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin. They don't happen enough with them. They just kind of throw random shit out, it seems sometimes. Like the Chipmunk Fire thing was, like, hilarious, though. Like, there was some of the dialogue, like, that's one of the things, is that the script dialogue was either not solid, or they just gave them too much free reign to ad-lib or whatever. But the dialogue was probably the very weakest thing. You know, you had like these scientists and all these other motherfuckers like doing straight dialogue, like doing a movie, and then Stephen Baldwin and Pauly Shore just saying random shit, like probably whatever came to the top of their head, you know, and yeah, so they continue to fuck shit up, and they find out that for some reason there's a back door to this place that is in the desert ecosystem. Oh, let me get to that part. They fuck up shit so much that they are like banned to the desert ecosystem at the very bottom. They are shut in there. I guess there's like only one way to get down in there, and that's like this mechanical fucking ladder thing that lifts up or whatever. And so it's like they're shunned down there, and they stumble across a back door, like just a little flap in the fucking biodome that has the key still in it. Like, why somebody left the key in there as a fail-safe. Maybe only one or two people in the crew actually knew it was there. Like, maybe just the main guy, he was supposed to know, and it was there for emergency situations or something. I don't know. But like, they get out, and as soon as they open the door, of course, the whole experiment is shot. It's fucked. And these geniuses decide, let's throw a party in here to show our old ladies how much we care about the environment. And they trash the environment, and romantic comedy moment ensues where their girlfriends, whom they deeply care about and love or whatever, hate them because they ruined the biodome and like this ecology, like their ecosystem, and like these chicks are totally into ecology, so like they are pissed off. Total romantic comedy moment. Oh my god, we got to do something to make them care about us again. Oh my god, Dude, Where's My Car? Except I'm pretty sure, like, what, Dude, Where's My Car came out later. I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly sure it came out later. I don't know. But like, there's just, it's like that type, you know, but more mid-90s MTV if you know what I mean. If you were around watching MTV in the mid '90s, you know what I mean. Music wise, like the soundtrack, I mean, it's totally like what was there. Every one of those bands probably had a video playing on MTV at that time. At the time of, like, I don't know if like they decided on the soundtrack post production or during production or whatever, but whatever the time they decided on that shit, there was music videos of those motherfuckers. So like they get out and they throw this party, of course. Oh, we got to win him back. So of course that's what they do. They're like, let's fix this. We got to do better. And then at that point, there is only two paths this movie can go down. Two paths. The path A, where it's like, oh my God, they get it fixed just in the nick of time, and they're heroes. Path B, they fail. They probably almost get it there, but they just don't quite get it there. But it opens up the door to the little epilogue of like them doing something better with their lives and actually becoming these better people. This movie does not need an epilogue. I can tell you that right now. Okay, maybe I gave away the ending a little bit, but yeah, it does not need an epilogue. They just like get it back right as the doors open. Of course, 100%, everything is back to normal and good, and they're heroes, and their old ladies love them forever. And like the main scientist guy, of course, he was driven nuts by their antics and everything else, and everything going to total shit. After the party happened, he lost it. That was it, man. He saw his whole project, his whole life just like fucked up, and that was it, man. He went straight up like fucking Unabomber with coconuts. The coconut bomber. He became the coconut bomber. Nut bomb. He's all about come on nut bomb. But yeah, it's one of those movies that you watch, like if you're a Pauly Shore fan, watch it once. Just to be like, yeah, you know, I want to see all the Pauly Shore movies. Then you watch Biodome. Not as funny as Son-in-Law. In the Army Now was even a little funnier. Was it Jury Duty? I gotta find Jury Duty. Jury Duty was actually a pretty good one. Jury Duty. I almost forgot about that one. But yeah, this one and Encino Man, which is like a cult classic. But Biodome is one of those movies that it's gonna be remembered as being so bad it's bad. That you just watch it just to be like, it cannot stay this bad. This is just like maybe they had to change directors, and you know the first director kind of fucked up, and then this is where they changed, but they kept the old stuff just because they were behind in filming or something, or like, no, it just keeps going where it's like, wow, Biodome. Oh, so funny. The only special features the only special features that I saw were the trailer. So I will watch the trailer. This is actually going to be somewhat of a shorter video because I'm gonna find some more points to talk about it. There's got to be something good I can scrape out of the bottom of this particular barrel of shit. But like, so there's not really any special features, just a trailer, you know. So there won't be a third portion to this video of the special features because there really isn't, you know. And on videos like this where it is just like a trailer and everything, of course, you know, I'll probably pop it in and just to be like, all right, I watched the trailer, you know. And I'm sure the trailer is going to be very 90s, mid 90s MTV also, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, if I have discs like that where it's just like, boom, there is no special features, the special feature is just a trailer, you know, then there won't be a third part. Like, I mean, okay. So let's talk about like when the movie came out. It came out in 1996, mid 90s, right? I mean, if you're around in the mid 90s, you saw a lot of shit going on where it was like, there was more of a boom of like, we need to like start recycling, and you know, we need to like really start taking care of our planet, you know. We gotta really start, you know, and there was a big ecological movement, you know. So I mean, why they decided to make a buddy comedy with Pauly Shore around that certain topic, I don't know. It's like they thought it might work. It was probably like, man, people will watch this shit. I think because Son-in-Law came out and then this, so people were probably like the people at the studios were like writing off this, like we'll ride the coattails of his success in this movie. We'll put him in this, and it'll also have like a statement, which is really something that's, you know, like the college campus activism as far as like the, planet Earth and stuff was really stepping up, you know, a lot of that stuff going on. So like probably like we can send out a message too, and like it won't just be people that like goofy fart comedy. It'll also be people that are like comedies and have a message or something. I don't know, you know. It's very of its time, which you wouldn't think. Like you just watch the movie and the whole time you're like rubbing your temples. You're like, dude, this goes on for like an hour and a half, and you know that there's probably like somewhere like somebody has deleted scenes or an alternate longer director's cut. Oh God, I would so watch that just to be like, I would wonder if there was like a 2 hour and 15-minute long director's cut of Biodome somewhere. I would watch it just to see if my eyes were bleeding by the end of the movie, which I think it would be a coin flip. That definitely by about the hour 52, 53-minute mark, my eyes might begin to bleed a little bit, you know, just right at the tail end there, you know, right when you're getting to the home stretch, just tears of blood, you know, just from my eyes. But I mean, it's one of those movies that you don't think of as kind of encapsulating a moment, you know, a moment in time, because it's a largely forgotten about movie because it's not good. I'll be honest, it's not good. I am entertained by it just by how fucking horrible it is. I'm a Pauly Shore fan, so to watch Pauly Shore, he can't even keep a straight face like 90% of the time in the movie. He'll say something or somebody else will say something and he's just like this close to just totally cracking up, or sometimes he does just start cracking up. So it's like, I think maybe even Pauly Shore knew that this movie was absolutely absurd and just horrible. But yeah, I mean that's why I like the movie. Is like, I'm a Pauly Shore fan, and even watching his worst movie is entertaining, just to watch something so horrible. Because I like movies that are so bad they're good, but sometimes I like movies that are so bad they're bad, where it's just, yeah, it's just watching something unfold continually from start to finish that never hits that next gear, that next phase, and jumps into something where it's like, oh, okay. It just stays like, wow, did anybody even really care that this was made? And yeah, so that's why I dig Biodome. And I'm the only person in the whole world. I'm sure even now, Pauly Shore, if you even just were like, you know, Biodome, if you just say that, he's probably like, you know, I don't want to talk about it. He'll probably have his bodyguards escort you away from him. You know, and then all of a sudden, like as you're being escorted away, as soon as they take their arms off you and place you like on the sidewalk across the street, they're already handing you a cease and desist order, and also like a fucking whatchamacallit, one of those one things, restraining order. They're already tucking that in your pocket. You've already got a restraining order against you, you know? Like, it's, I don't know how much more to explain it. It's like, when I watch it, I totally get that feeling of what it was like to be in the mid 90s, watching culture unfold, especially a lot of like around that time, there was a lot of like, you know, urban, you know, like black culture movies coming out, where it was like showing a lot of what was going on in a world that a lot of us white folk didn't know. You know, I had no idea. Fuck, not only was a white dude, but I was also far removed away from like big city, inner city shit. You know, that wasn't my life. I wasn't around that shit. You know, and then this is total like Seattle college campus hippie white guy bullshit. That's what this movie is. That's what it was in the 90s. I mean, you see like even the way they're dressed, there's a lot of like that 90s, what you would call like maybe a 90s hipster, like, you know, stoner hipster, Seattle college campus, San Francisco college campus fucking look. You know, a lot of that look. Or how Stephen Baldwin has the little dreads, and I think sometimes he's wearing like flannel, you know, and they got the jeans and ripped jeans and all this stuff in the shoes. And, you know, it's just a total fucking mid-90s fucking Seattle look, you know? And so it's kind of weird watching that, you know, because you saw it in movies at the time, and then you saw it in like decent movies, you saw it in good movies, and then you saw it in movies like this, but it just encapsulates this whole feeling of the time. You wouldn't expect it. You wouldn't expect Biodome to be anything more than what it is. But at the very, very least, even though it's not a good movie, it is still like a time capsule of a certain period, like just cultural period. A little bit of it, a little bit of what was going on at that time, kind of socially and ecologically, you know, and just like style-wise and everything else, you know? Even like the humor, like the mid-90s, that was like the last big wave of like this kind of like, I don't know, there was still some like toilet humor and stuff like that, but done in this kind of way where it was more very, very like grown-ass people acting like very small children, you know? And plus some of the humor, you would look at it now and you'd be like, I don't know, those guys are like climbing into bed with those chicks and those chicks are sleeping and everything, and that's not very PC, it's very rapey and blah, blah, blah. It was like the last innocent time where people were doing stupid shit, and like in movies, you know, like scenes in movies, there was just this stupid shit where what they're doing, of course, would be totally illegal, and, you know, they're fucking predators and shit like that. Reality. When you're looking at a comedy thing, you're looking at some dumbass climbing in bed with this chick who's not interested with him, trying to hit on her, and they end up getting kicked out of the rooms and everything like that and everything else. It's like the old school sex comedies and shit like that. Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds. What's the other one? Porky's and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like all these sex comedies and stuff like that, where stuff was going on where it was like, of course it was highly illegal. You know, looking through a hole in the fucking shower room and to look at naked girls. It's fucking illegal, of course. But the movies were just to laugh at these guys being fucking retards and doing this stuff. Like this immature fucking stupid stuff that maybe not with the intent to harm, but still creepy and illegal, you know? And people are like, well, these movies don't hold up now. Well, of course they don't fucking hold up now. This was of a time where people were like less worried about the intricacies of their sex comedies, you know, and less about what was going on. But now we're like, I'm not even going to talk about the world. I'm just going to talk about United States culture, US culture. You know, we've grown up some where we're like, dude, there's a lot of bad shit going on in this world. Yes, we got all like these comedies and stuff like that, but like this stuff is actually really bad. Like people are coming to a realization that bad stuff is happening and it's really bad, but you can't blame stupid fiction movies for stuff that's been going on forever that maybe you either turned a blind eye to or just didn't know about. So it's like, you can't take the fiction seriously. You can separate the fiction from the reality and the fact. You can do that. It's okay. It's okay to laugh at people being fucking stupid and laughing at something that's wrong. I have a very dark sense of humor, you know? So I laugh at some very dark things sometimes. But that doesn't change the way I feel about the reality of a situation and how I think things like that should not be a thing, you know? And if I can help them not be a thing, I will. You know, I do my part in the very least of not being a person who does those things. That's what I can do at the very least. That's within my power now. So I just went on this long rant about stuff, but I don't know. I hope you were entertained about it. Like, I don't know. I just kind of got serious there for a second. Who knew that Biodome would cut to the core? Cut to the core. The wheeze is just cutting it to the core, buddy. You know? But yeah, all in all, it's like, it's one of those comedies where there's situations that don't hold up today, and of course they don't, because they shouldn't. It's like really old stuff that was racist, like some of the Disney stuff that got released that was like had racist stuff in it. It doesn't hold up today because, yeah, we grew. It's not supposed to hold up today. Things that have whether a purposefully negative connotation, or they just have a straight up negative connotation, not like somebody was trying to intentionally be a dick, but it's a dick thing anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're supposed to recognize that and grow from it. But you got to remember that that was a thing. You got to look at it and be like, remember when we were right there? But look where we're at now. That's good. That's where we used to be. We're not there no more. Films actually do that, especially when they totally encapsulate a time. You know, they show us exactly without even fucking realizing it. They totally take that moment in time through what they do, the dress, the acting, different stuff, the music, blah blah blah, and they put that all together, and that's like, now it's become of this time. The more things that you take from the current time are going to make that more of an encapsulation of that time. Like how they used, instead of just orchestral music and stuff like that, you know, like an orchestra for the soundtrack, they use like modern bands playing songs as like a lot of the soundtrack. That really digs in its roots deep to that time, you know? And Biodome is a movie that really encapsulates the time, because I watched MTV at that time, and that look and all that kind of stuff, you know, that was of the time. And it's kind of like, it became a little bit more of a take on nostalgia for me than I realized it would, because I kind of remembered the movie a little bit, but then watching it again, it wasn't quite like I remembered it. It was a little more gonzo, and it kind of took me back, because I remember that time, you know. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know. Who knew that I could yap about Biodome for like 24 minutes? I bet you even everybody involved with Biodome can't even talk about Biodome for 24 minutes, or would even try or want to. Would I blame them? Nope. I would not blame them. But it was fun to watch Biodome. My girlfriend gave it 10 out of 10 thumbs down. It was a 10 for 10. It was across the board thumbs down. She was like, wow, that movie was bad. And I was like, I know, right? Thank you for watching it with me. Oh, I love you so much, babe. The things that we do for our loved ones sometimes. She's a trooper. But yeah. So I've signed your pity on the running kind. You know, in a nostalgic kind of way, like Biodome. All right, so until next time, people. This has been Reviewedly Interrupted with me, your host Pootie Tang. Link for if you want to get one of the shirts, the cool shirts. Like the links down there, I'm pretty sure it works now. My homie, he said that like his page was still under review to make sure some stuff. I don't know, probably some last little hoops he's got to go through. But check it out, and if you can order one, and you want one, order one. If it's not working, then don't. And if you don't want to order one at all, don't follow the link. It's that easy. It's that easy. You can pick door number 2. But you really want to know what's inside that fucking box. Because that little box, it could be car keys. It could be car keys. It could be like, I don't know, a stack of like fucking hundreds or something. It could be anything. Get the box. Choose the box. Pick the box. Always pick the box. But, all right. So, until the next episode. Reviewing Interrupted, Pootie Tang, Biodome. Okay, I think that's it. All right. Yeah, my production crew is telling me to wrap it up. They're telling me it's time to wrap it up because that's